All right. Well, hi everyone, and welcome back to the end video that I'm going to make for this subject for our lovely earphones. Just a bit of a recap from last time. So, last time we took care mainly of the top surface and we saw how to take care of very fine fillets that we had around, and we could see that the object is not symmetrical, and we learned how to make those very fine transitions, and after that how to close the fillets, which, yeah, maybe we could have a little bit of improvements in here. As I can see, it's not keeping the same distance, but at the end of the day it doesn't matter that much as long as the object does look as it should look. So it shouldn't be a problem, but I can see the transition is fading away up to, let's see, up to here, which is great. Maybe we could adjust that to fade away a little bit further. Maybe not. It's not quite precise science anyway. And the idea behind is to learn. It's not necessarily to make 100% accurate object, especially given the fact that this is generated by artificial intelligence. So yeah, so it's no point to be extremely precise about it anyway. And yeah, I was doing the sessions only to learn. So um, patience, and hopefully you will stay with me until the end of doing this in detail, with all the details, and we will continue afterwards doing some very cool renders of it. Right, at the end, probably a few sessions from now. If you don't know how we arrived, or if you cannot remember how we arrived up to this point, please go check out the previous videos that I created, which will explain everything that we have in here. Right, so let's jump into it. I would say first thing first, we should evaluate a little bit the object so that we remember, so that we can see what else is there to be done. Oh, and by the way, so this session today mostly will be about readjusting this model, given that now, after we gone through quite a lot from it, we kind of having a very good idea. We learned the shapes, right? We learned the objects. We understand it better, and now that we understand it better, we can start to make, I would say, the final adjustments for the main shape. And this is only normal because you see, when you don't really have um, side views, top views, anything that can help you decide how to construct something like this, it becomes very difficult to actually get it right first time. I would say it's kind of impossible to get it right first time. So that's the reason why I um, I wasn't very keen in getting everything very precise from the beginning, because I knew that by the time I will arrive to the end of making the main shape, it will I will just realize that, actually, that should be, I don't know, this thing here should be higher, this thing should be rounder, and so on and so forth. But today, that's the main goal, to make some adjustments. I would say the last adjustments to the main shape, just tidying it up correctly, and maybe adjusting even more the top surface. I'm not sure if I want that anymore, because yeah, I mean, it looks quite all right to me. And yeah, after that, maybe if we have some time, we can continue with maybe a few cuts in here, maybe the cuts on the top surface. I will see, because after you make the main shape, then the cuts, it's not rocket science. They will be fairly easy to create. It's just doing the work after that. It's nothing more than this. All right, cool. So let's jump into it. I will leave the top surface as it is because yeah, I said that is quite all right, and we will focus mainly on the on what is happening in here. Of course, we will keep switch back and forth between these surfaces and the end result that we have in the second part to evaluate. So let me take a screenshot and let's scribble some stuff on top of the screenshot because I already saw a few things that I would like to be changed. So first of all, I can clearly see that this distance that we have in here should be smaller, right, than what we have in here, isn't it? So this goes, um, yeah, this goes with a normal offset, and I think we can just adjust the curves in there. So that's the first thing that I'm thinking that we can do. The second thing is, well, first of all, right here at in the middle of the object, right, we should have this big round fillet that should start, right? So this one here, it's about this size, and I think we should correct that. And again, the offsets that I created initially to cut through the surfaces, they will need to be adjusted. Definitely, they are not constant. You will see in a few minutes what I'm talking about. So I would say these two main things, because they are giving the main shapes, the main size of the object, how they are called, the proportions, right? They are giving the main proportions of the objects. So yeah, let's jump into it and let's do exactly those two things. So first of all, I'm looking into here, and clearly this corner that I have in here should be way higher, right? Let me hide this. Let me hide this. Okay. I will keep this surface in here just as a guide to understand where roughly I have my stuff. Yeah. I will let me open this object into a separate window. Okay, select an entity to review properties. Okay, cool. I will just delete those three because the next top surface model is not using them anyway. So I will not need them. Okay. And now I think what I will also have to do is to go here just before I am closing all those fillets around, and let's look at some sketches. So I'm thinking that this main shape in here is governed by a specific sketch that I did at some point in time. So if I'm going into hidden bodies, yeah, I cannot see the sketches in the hidden bodies. So let's see. So this is the surface extrude, and I have the sketch in here. That's brilliant. All right, let's go on into the side view. I'm not going to get into the sketch itself to adjust it. I will just be in the side view and just adjust the sketch as it is, getting things far higher up. Of course, it will give me some errors around because I'm trying to make some fillets and stuff like that, which is only normal. So let's see. So I'm having that, which is way higher. Okay. Let's see what SolidWorks doesn't like. Which fillets or what are the stuff that he doesn't like. Okay, so I'm having this surface extend in here, which shouldn't be a problem. Ah, no. Okay, so it looks like he didn't want to update. Now I can see which fillets. Okay, so let's see. So we have this in here. So between those two surfaces, and I say 10 millimeters, and he doesn't like 10, doesn't like 5, maybe 2, but 2 is not something that we really need, isn't it? Okay, leave it with 2. Yeah, definitely it's not something that we really need. So with 2 works, but we don't need 2, isn't it? Okay, so of course. All right. Remember when I said in the previous videos that SolidWorks is quite sensitive to building fillets after directly using the surfaces. God knows what's the reason behind of doing that, but that's how SolidWorks is. So instead of doing that, what I am going to do, I am going to join those and do the fillets after I'm trimming the surfaces instead of having fillets directly done with the surfaces. Especially that we are in a stage at a stage now where things will start to be a little bit more complex. The last thing we want is to have at every modification that we do SolidWorks crashing and saying, yeah, but I cannot do the fillet. So let's see. So we have another fillet in here, which is done directly with the surfaces. Okay, so I'm going to change that fillet too. All right, let's do the trim surface. Okay, mutual. Yeah. Okay, keep selections. No, remove selections. Yeah. Okay, so one trim here. Let's do another trim in there. Remove those 2. Good. Now let's do the fillets. Don't remember how much the fillets were. Okay, so I will just apply something that I maybe remember correctly. We can modify them afterwards. I think this will be more like a 4 or even a 3 millimeters. We can try with 3 millimeters. I'm sure that if I would make these surfaces slightly smaller and all that kind of stuff, the fillets would not be so problematic. But I do try to keep the surfaces as long as possible so that I can be able to adjust them afterwards. All right, so at least 5 did work, 5 or maybe 7 or maybe even 8, 9. 9 works, 10, just 10 doesn't work, fine. 9 or 10, I can see afterwards if I can adjust them. I think I can even apply 10 millimeters, but then to say that I don't want to trim everything. Do I have the option not to trim? I think I have the option not to trim the stuff afterwards. Or maybe it is in a different, maybe it is after, during the fillet. Let's try. Because I remember I could do a fillet and then choose not to trim the surfaces, so I will remain only with the fillets, with the fillet done, which is very useful because if you do that, you can cut the surfaces afterwards with the result. Okay, maybe it is the surfaces when you do it like that. Trim and attach, yes, indeed. So you can do trim and attach. Shall we try like that? Let's try like that. So if we do a trim and attach, I'm just going back. So I'm curious about being able to not attach the surfaces. Haha, but I cannot do it anymore after I apply it. Okay, so yes. Just delete all those and let's do it again and let's see if it works. So between two surfaces, or between this surface and between this surface, and I do not want don't trim and attach, and I will want 7 as it was before. Yeah, so we have, there you go, so we have them in here without being trimmed, without anything like that. So I'm going to the next fillet, which is fillet this one in here, which now it did work simply because I am having yeah, simply because they don't go one after another. So there you go. If they would be slightly smaller as surfaces, I wouldn't necessarily have the problem that I had before. Okay, so that's interesting, because if, for example, I go in here and I say, okay, I want to cut this, trim tool, this tool, and then I want to remove this. Yeah, it's not recognizing it because of probably overlapping surfaces. Yeah, so it becomes quite problematic after that. If I do a split all, come on, let's see, split all, and I'm selecting this, it may work. No, okay. All right, so quite problematic if you start building stuff like this, like using the fillets without trim and attach. So instead of that, I will go with the main thing that I was saying in the beginning, which is just creating the fillets back from using the edges. Let's see, using the edges, or could I make offsets? I could make offsets too. Just thinking now, which one would be the best way, given that the model is quite open to adjustments, right? So if I'm making parallel curves and then connect them using boundary surfaces, it may function a little bit better. It may work a little bit better. Or, you know what? Let's do it like this. I will just make this fillet first and the one at the back last, because it's all the time it is smaller. Right, so let's trim the surfaces. Neutral, yeah, between this and this. Let's remove this too. And now I can do the fillet. Where is that? There you go. By the way, this time I will go a bit faster because, well, we are kind of, at the end of let's say learning. So it's not like default overflow. Ah, yeah, keep surface, keep edge. Let's leave it as a default. Partial edge, no. Yeah, let's leave it as it is. Yeah, so I was saying I will go way faster to do all this because, well, kind of everything that I had in my mind to show or to teach, if I can say that, it's done already. So now we are just applying everything that I presented before, and just do the right adjustments on the model itself. So I guess teaching from here would be mainly around around debugging, around you know what, how we can do things after we see they fail, like I'm doing right now. Okay, so we have these two surfaces now done properly. It did work better than using the fillets directly with the surfaces. So I can just delete these two fillets in here because I don't really need them anymore. So I'm having the top surface as an extrude. I'm having it modified. So not a problem in here. I am having two offsets. Okay, so I'm having those two in there, the offset in here, so I wouldn't. Okay, so now we arrive to these offsets in here. Okay. Okay, and this offset in here, which are the ones used to yeah, to cut through to make the fillet in the back. So I'm having this in here, which I suspect it should be somewhere around 7. So I need a far bigger fillet, right? So if I'm looking into here, way so bigger, so towards, I don't know, 7. 7 looks quite all right. We'll have to see how it goes after. So we have the surface and trims in here, and then some surface extensions. Yeah, so the surface extend didn't work anymore. Let's see why and which surface extend it is in here. Of course, it doesn't indicate anymore which one is which. Of course, none of them are working anymore. And then I'm having this fillet in here. Okay. Between those two surfaces. Let's see. Well, let's make the extensions for each surface from the back, and we shall see afterwards how it is. So clear. I think I just need something in here, but up to the end. Okay. Okay, another surface extend. I can do it here, and another surface extend, which should be this one around here. And then we have a fillet in here, which is something like that. Yeah, I think this surface extension is exaggerated, so let's push it back a little bit. Okay, and another surface extend of who? Maybe this one. Could be so nice if Solidworks could just show me which edges I did before, but it doesn't. So I'm having this trim in here because, again, last time, if you remember, I had some issues doing the fillet, so I applied the same strategy. And then I'm doing this fillet in here. Right, this one in here, it's a bit too big, so I would say maybe 2 millimeters would be better. Okay, and then we have a surface fill somewhere. Let's see where. Okay. So we have a sketch in here to cut the model, and probably the sketch is now broken, but maybe I don't necessarily need. No, I still need to use the sketch to cut the model. Okay. Hmm. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's modify the sketch. What's wrong with you, Mr. Sketch? Hmm. Oh yeah, because I'm using, yes, I'm using offsets in here, and I modified the surfaces around. So of course now it's going to tell me that I have some issues with it. Okay. So let's do the same thing again with the offsets from the edges. Yeah, okay. So 3 millimeters in there and 2 millimeters in there, fine. Okay. Do I have, I am inside the sketch, yes I am. So I should have offset on surface, yeah. 3 millimeters in here, that's great. So I want this at 3. And I will want this at 2. Okay, got only that one, fine. Fine by me, and this one as well at 2. Okay, and now, yeah, so this one should be a 2, and I shouldn't have a problem to have them in the same point, but they aren't. So I would say, okay, I'm going to delete that. And let's see, is it going to let me attach? Yes, it is. So it's not anymore on the surface if I'm doing that, but I am connecting a surface anyway. I am using a surface to cut it anyway. Let's see. There. So it does let me attach it. Great. Okay, so here is the thing. I do want spine on the surface, and I do want it to be in coincident in that point. And I'm doing this because one is at 3 and one is at 2 as an offset on the surface, and I do want for this to be in tangency with that, and this to be as well in tangency, so that's great. So that should be the end of it, and I will connect them with a line in here, and oopsie, and that's it. Okay, so let's see why the surface doesn't want to fill. I have no open edges, right? Ah, no, actually I may have open edges. Open boundaries, edges, whatever. So one of them could be in here, isn't it? Let's see. What do we have in here? It doesn't look like so. And there they are, coincident. Okay. So why then clear? Okay, patch boundary. Are you getting the boundary? is open. Yeah, the boundary is open. So the boundary is open. Let's see where the boundary is open. Ah, yeah, there you go. So the boundary is open in there. So let's see. I think I can select the 2 points rather than dragging them and say that I want to be coincident. Merge points cannot be merged. Okay, how about I'm deleting that constraint of 2 millimeters in there, and now I say just merge them. Yeah, it does work. Okay, and yeah, I think there should be all right. No, it's still open. Right, so the morale from here is after we do the offset on the edges, if we want to use them to cut the other surfaces, we should just, yeah, no, they are coincident anyway. So somewhere else we have an open boundary. We should just use, try to get them done in such a way so that we don't have open boundaries, and then use the surface, because they are not going to be aligned on this on the original surface anyway anymore, so no point. But for some reason it's saying that it is an open boundary. Can I see, however, where the boundary is, so at least I can see where do I need to adjust things? Can I really see that? Maybe I should, instead of doing this, maybe I should just use a surface to cut through, because it looks like we have quite some. No, we tried with the surface earlier and we didn't like the idea simply because they were not, when we started adjusting it, we couldn't keep the things quite straight. But we have sketches in here which we could always duplicate, move around, and create other surfaces to be able to cut from it, to be able to cut or to be able to do whatever we like. Yeah, so if I am doing that, that may be a way to solve this. We are not heavily dependent and constantly trying to adjust those lines in there. Yeah, so that's one way of doing it. Let's see, is there any other way to do it? I could make offsets from the edges because those work anyway. But then, instead of cutting them in here, just create a surface, instead of making this in here, which most probably that is what is giving us the problem, just leave them straight. Yeah, and combine them with curves that are not lying on the surface right there at the corners. Yeah, let's do that. So we have this, let's delete this, let's delete this and this. We will really need to make something to be able to not rely on on these edges to be on the surface and then give us all the problems, right? So nope. So this one was 2 millimeters, yeah. So let's see. Yeah, let's connect them simply with curves in here and put them in tangency, which will not match, of course, with the surface. Why would be in conflict then? Shouldn't be in conflict. Tangent and tangent. Okay, so maybe if I'm deleting this, this, no, it's still not getting it. Okay. I can extend them. Can extend it in here and extend it in here. Ah, I see. I see. So how about instead of that, instead of extending, I'm getting them further back. And I'm building a curve in between. Yeah, it doesn't like that tangency thing in there. Let's see then. What are our other options? So we have these curves in here. We do want to be like this, right? So for example, at 3 millimeters in there. But we want to create them in such a way so we can construct our surface to be able to cut through the object. Okay. Well, there are other solutions. So let's see which one would be the fastest. I still like the idea of using the curves, however. Yeah, okay. Okay, continue without error. So let's go in here and let's do something else that should make things for the last time properly done so that we don't suffer anymore from this. So we should have one in here that is ruled surface, yes. So I'm going to create a ruled surface in here. Do I want it at 10? Yeah, maybe 3, just to have it visible. Okay. So I'm going to create a ruled surface, and ruled surface, all three in there, and then connect them, and then make an offset, or actually make the offset now. Yeah, let's do the ruled surface, make the offsets, and then connect them all at 90 degrees. And then we will use the ruled surface to actually cut through the object. So that is far more reliable than the sketches. I don't know why I didn't think about that before. Ah, yeah, because it's more time consuming, that's why. But since sketches and curves are a little bit problematic, then fine, let's use this. So 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters in here for the offset on the other side. Yep, and 3 millimeters in there. There. And 3 millimeters in here. Good. I don't need those three anymore, so we can hide them easily. Okay, and let's see. And yeah, let's create like a ruled surface between the two, curvature and curvature. Yeah, of course they will look kind of nasty. But I forgot to extend them first. Let's extend them. Yeah, there you go. That's why I didn't try it initially, because it takes quite some time to prepare the surfaces and do all this just to cut them through. But hey, it is what it is. I can see what's going on in here. I don't like that. Okay, we will solve that as well. Alrighty, so this, yeah, and where was I? Yes, at extending them. There, let's extend them. And now, let's see, what I don't like is that this is kind of straight when I'm having this curved fillet in there. So I could cut it. Do I want to cut it to be sure that I'm not getting into trouble? Yeah, let's go and cut that. So I should be able to apply directly in 3D Sketch. Oh God, I lost it in 3D Sketch. Where are you? Here. Okay, that's why. I'm looking at the other side of the object. Okay, so directly in 3D Sketch, I'm having that. And then I will want to do the same in there. Offset on the surface. Come on. Just let me do it. Okay. Do the same for the others. Okay. And again, offset on surface for that one there. Okay. So now I should be able to cut them using those. Standard. And remove this. Okay. Okay. Let me check something in here. Okay. And there. All right, cool. So now it's all right. It's done. Let's connect them through. With the boundary. Yeah, I don't like the fact that I cannot use the whole thing. So let's see which surface trim it was. Not this one, not this one. This one, yes. Okay. So boundary surface between this sketch and this edge. And curvature and in curvature, I am going to increase the curvature just to make sure that I am kind of in the middle of that fillet. So these surfaces are not too big, so at some point we may end up having some issues with them if we modify the model way too much, but it's going to work far better than having those sketches and curves. Yeah, I didn't know that SolidWorks, or I didn't expect SolidWorks to be so sensitive to vertices, but yeah, it is how it is. Again, at the end of the day, it's quite cheap as a software. All right, so we can give up on that surface fill, which doesn't work. Do we have an option to replace it with another surface? Katya has that option. Let's see, does SolidWorks has it? Is SolidWorks having it? Let's see. Rename collapse. Uh, Maybe parent child. Got it. So we have this. So if we go to the child, we should be able, I think. So is surface extend. Oh no, that's children. So surface extend 8. That's interesting. Oh no, it is surface extend 8. Yes, because I am trying to, of course. And then surface extend 8 as children. Come on, no other. Okay, yeah, it's clear the surface trim, but it's not showing it as children. Come on. Okay, never mind. So surface trim. Yeah, probably it's another thing, another one that is doing it. Anyway, no point to try to see, because I can always delete those two and I can see who is actually depending on them. For now, it's no one. For some reason, yeah, I did delete the trim. Okay, that's not to worry about. Let's see. Let's trim this standard. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to want to remove the other one. Okay, so it gets a little bit confused. Let me hide this. Let me hide the top surface. Okay. And let's see. So we should be able, to just select this trim tool. And yeah, doesn't want to do it. If I say split all, it will. But for some reason, yeah. Okay, well, anyway, let's keep this one that we have in here. Let's hide the surface that we were using before to cut the stuff around. Okay. So now we do have this. Let's unhide the top surface. I will write in here top to find it faster. Okay. So we are here. So now it should have a better representation. from which we should now be able to just modify some sketches around, for example, and update it accordingly, because after we did that, it shouldn't be too much of a hassle to reconstruct the surfaces around. And there you go, it worked until some point, until, for example, this surface trim in here. Okay, not a problem. Let's see first how the model looks like with the top surface after. So I'm going to make one boundary surface just to have them connect them. No, I need to put them all, or to have them all initially. But this time what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remake them just like dummy surfaces, not more than that, because I just want to understand how the model is at the top surface. And actually, instead of keep doing boundary surfaces around, what we can do is doing only the one at the back. Only doing the one at the back, and just use that one. Okay, so it works. Just let me do it. So do the only the one at the back, so that I can actually close the model up and use the top surface to see how it looks like. Yeah, so I can see this one in here way, it will be a very big fillet in there. Right, so let's do those without any sketches or anything, just to have them. Yeah, of course he's doing something like that. Can I actually? Yeah, I can. Yeah, let's do this. Clear. Okay, so between this and this. Okay. And then, yeah, I will want between this and this edge here, or actually this smaller one. Of course, now we have smaller edges because we use different kind of surface to cut this, but again, we can deal with that easily after. So let's do this in here and in here. After all, we can always imagine how those fillets will look like in the end, as long as we understand, we have a good understanding on how the object is. So okay, yeah, we need the one at the front too. Fine. So now I'm going to get this as well. Okay, this surface is not needed anymore. These two sketches are not needed anymore. I'm having like, okay. Actually, yes. So I will need now to make Filled surface. Oopsie. Let's delete this. Okay, I will still put them all in tangent, just so they don't look completely ugly. Okay. And I go to the last knit surface and attach this one to it as well. All right, cool. So that's that. So if I'm going back in here, I will say, okay, please update it. So with the top surface, I shouldn't see any problems. So I should be able to have a clear understanding now of how the model looks like. But it is. So Control B to update it. And for some reasons, is saying that there is the same result, and it shouldn't, right? Yeah, it shouldn't. It's okay. So Control B is not working anymore like that, or because the surface to which we use for the offset, yeah, it's already with question mark. Of course it is. So let's go to here and for some reason, because I have a mirror and the surface trim in here, I did delete them. Yes. Control S. Will it take in consideration now? No. Okay. No, they are. No, it's correct. It's correct. Okay. So if I'm going into this one and edit it, I should be able for this surface in here to be the last surface from the previous model. Let's select that one. That's 0. There, and now it is reconstructing, and of course it will say, but yeah, you know, we do have a bit of a problem in here, which is fine, but we will be able to see how the model is looking like, or to imagine how the model will look like. Okay, so let's see what kind of a mirror problem is he having. Yeah, so I'm doing this. Yes, intersecting surfaces. That's why he has a mirror problem in there. So I'm going to use the top surface or anything above. Yes, let's make a sketch and cut those input surfaces first, so that we don't have that problem anymore right at the end. Let's see, front right plane. Let's make a sketch just above, because I don't want to search now which offset I should use as a surface to cut it. I will just use as an extrude to cut it, really. And now this should be visible. I should be able to use this to cut through it. Okay. And now mirror should work just fine. Awesome. And it did. Perfect. So now we can have an idea of how these earphones are looking like, or they would look like after we applied the modifications. Okay, so let's see, is the fillet bigger? or are the fillets bigger? Okay, so we have this in here a bit bigger. We have this distance in there. No, I would say more or less the same thing. And all this thing, rounded thing, will just continue all the way here. Okay, so it doesn't look bad. Just checking to see. So we are already at 1 hour in our video, and yeah, it looks like it looks more as it should look like, really. What else we don't like in here? Let me press a Control B to update everything, just to make sure. Let's see what else is in here to change. Yeah, we have a seam line right in the middle. Let me change this. Background into something black. I want to have a complete black environment. Can I have it? Let's see. Pitch black, whatever. Reflective floor black. Yeah, reflective floor black is better. Yeah, so there you go. So we have a seam in here that is visible all the way, and it is disappearing at the back. So somewhere in the front, that seam doesn't look as it should. So that's that one thing. Then we have this in here, which should be round. Yeah, and should be a bit more round than it is now. So it's clearly a part of the offset that we have in here. This offset that we have in here, this shouldn't be at 1 or 2, it should be probably at 1. And the curve that most probably is governing all this is not constructed not correctly. It's not constructed in such a way so that it will make it a bit more round. So let's try to do all those modifications before we start and redo those fillets around. It's critical for the object to be in a good shape before we start to close these things in here, because I don't want to lose hours and hours of remaking them just so that after I'm starting to modify the object again. But now it becomes handy, those ruled surfaces and those offsets, right? Because this one was at 2, but if now I'm saying I want it at 1, I should have the model updated accordingly, and there you go, without any problem, no failure, just to have it at 1. Okay, so this is at 1, or maybe even less than 1, maybe 0.5. Yeah, and it worked without any issue. Let's check again the picture. Yeah, it's kind of all right. The offset is more or less correct. Let's check the curve. Which kind of curve we have it in here? So we have it like that as a curve. I don't see it as tangent in here. No, it is tangent. So maybe I should go with this curve better like that to have it a bit more round and a bit more round in there. And after, of course, more other surfaces are failing, some other fillets and stuff. So I would say, okay, for now, I'm not going to modify that, not just yet, because the model being so loose, I don't want to arrive to modify so often just for some things that I'm not really sure yet if I really want them or not. Okay. Do I maybe want to modify the offset in here? Maybe. But what I do want to modify most probably. No, I don't want to modify that either. So right now, what I will want to do will be to see how to deal with what we have here. So I can see, yeah, this is a constant offset, and that's the thing that I didn't like, I remember. Because if we look at the image, now you will not figure out that it's a constant offset or not constant offset, so no, I would say no point to lose more time. Okay, let's go and look again onto this one in here. So let's apply a Control B to update it. Just to have a rough idea of how it will look like. Okay. Yeah, of course, it's completely straight right here in the middle, and then I'm having that kind of transition. But that will change once we close the surfaces in here. That should be changing easily. Okay. And I'm having something like that. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like there is much else to modify to this. Yeah. Hmm. Ah, yes, we were saying at the front. Yes, I remember. So here at the front, I was having a sketch for that, yeah. Let's go in here. Yes, this sketch in here. So for some reason, it should be already in tangency, but let's check it out. There are fixes for that show in case we have some problems. Is it because I changed? No, I couldn't change that one, isn't it? So for some reason I can see a seam line where I shouldn't have a seam line. Hmm. So let's try to modify that first. And I do want this curve to be a bit more round. So now we may have indeed problems with the other surfaces because it was already at extreme, very, very round. So yeah, I'm not going to try to do it anymore, to exaggerate it even more. But for some odd reasons, you won't have a problem when you try to do it here. Okay, I'm having a fillet that is saying is problematic. Okay, how about fillet at 4? Just looking to see how things are holding up. Okay. Well, we can always cut it out at the end of the day. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let me open this separately to see it clearly. So it is in tangency, but with all that, we still see a seam. Is it from the curve? It shouldn't be from there. Because it shouldn't be the curve that is giving the issue, but we can always make a cut right there in between and connect it. It's just that it's a shame to do so when we have everything done in such a way so that it's not like that. Yeah, a bit weird. Okay, let me go to the original model, open it up. And since we are at the chapter of updating things around, okay, so this should be horizontal. We have something like this, vertical, whatever. Okay. Can I make this a little bit more? Yeah, I can see. Bit more round. Like that. Of course. And now I have a bunch of surfaces that they are not going to work. Because of the amount of curvature that I have in there. Okay, but what I can do is the first offset that I have in here, which was at 3, I want to put it at 1. So it will update this very close to like a sphere, which is fine. Yeah, I can use it like that. And then I can always cut the surface if I have the seams or where I have the seams and just leave it be. Not the very best way of doing it, but we have two options. Either we lose the time to reconstruct, either we just cut and join them together afterwards without having the seam. It is quite an organic object anyway, so it's not like we are going to lose, I don't know what kind of precision in there. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to update this kind of fillets in here, so we arrive to the end of the session. Do I want the same? Yeah, let's apply the same thing, and I want this to be as round as possible, like they would be fillets, despite they aren't. And we know that they aren't. Okay, so this would be this in here. Yeah, it does look all right. And now what do I want? I want to go here at the back. I want this to be straight. Okay, and again, I'm going to make this a bit more round than they were. I'm going to do the same in here. No, so I'm having a big edge in here and a big edge in here, so I'm going to do that one instead. Okay, save. Is my thing still recording? Yeah, I should. Interesting. Resources low for some reasons. What resources are low? For Solidworks? Just for that? That's a bit weird. No, everything is fine. All right. So let's continue. Right. I do want to delete this and the surface and the boundary and this boundary. Or before that, let me go like this. Okay. And I will just delete this and whatever comes after. Okay, and let's do the boundary between this and this. I'm going to use the same amount on each sides, and I will adjust them to be a bit more linear. I think that was the wrong one. Yeah, something like that should be just all right. Okay, fine. And now I'm still thinking if to apply surface fills between them or not. Not sure if I will still modify the model afterwards. So I'm just going to apply a fill, being a bit lazy. There, it should let me do it. It may give me some issues with the curvature in any point, but let's see. No, this time it worked without an issue. Lucky us. Okay. All edges in curvature. Doing it without a problem. I don't know. Maybe I will want this fillet in there. I don't know. I don't think I will. I don't think I will want them like that. I think I'm just fine with as they are right now. Let me look at the picture. Nah, this fillet in here must definitely be wider. And let's see. And this fillet in here, it can stay like that. But that one there definitely. So let me save this. And now let me see, do we have, so that should be 5. If I say 7, is it going to update it without problem. No, of course, but we lose the fillet, but that's only expected, that's only normal, so that's fine. Ah, but then we are going to have this kind of weird thing in between. Yeah, so yes, but still it should be round, a lot more round, so that's fine. And now, because it is like that, we will have to see those fillets in here. And see what's happening and why do we have it like this. Okay, so if we say 3, yeah, it is going to get it a bit better. And that is because, yes, I see, because you cannot, I should have extended this. Okay, that's not a problem. So phase 1, phase 2. We can always extend them even more. So I'm having surface extend here. Okay. And that surface extend and this surface extend, but I don't have this one. Oh yeah, I have no surface extension in here. Got it. So that's the one of the missed. Yeah. So instead, maybe we can use the surface on trims in which we can extend it. Yeah. So how about we make this extended a lot more so that we are sure that the fillets are done properly? No? Didn't want to do it, doesn't like it. Maybe just a tiny bit. It did work, but now, of course, I'm having, but if I'm extending it, I will get the symmetry. I will start having issues with the symmetry, so I don't quite like the idea. Okay. Then let's do it. Let me go up to here and let me extend it. Yeah, let's extend this. In both directions to be sure. And now I shouldn't have problems anymore. There you go. So we did get it. Now the fillet is all right. That's good. I'm still having a surface extend here with issues. Yeah, I'm just checking this untrims in here. Okay. Can I then just delete this? Yeah, doesn't need it anyway. Alrighty. So we are a lot better here at the back with the fillet. Can I maybe try to modify it here at the front too without losing more time? Nah, okay, I will leave it for now. Alrighty, so let's get these two. Let's get the fillets right and make some cuts for today, and we should be over with it. Okay. Hmm. How about we apply a fillet of 5 to increase this to look a lot more round? Nah, that would be way too round. Yeah, let's keep it like that. Okay. So now, given that we are kind of near the completion of the whole thing, instead of just do a filled surface, which I don't like the idea for it. You don't have as much control as you would have by doing boundary surfaces. I'm going to do the boundary surfaces instead. So I'm going to convert those. Did he get them as converted? No. Do I really need to go into a 3D sketch? Yes, unfortunately. Ah, Solidworks sometimes is losing the pivot point for rotation in the viewport. Yeah, okay, so 3D sketch, let's convert those things. Okay, so that would be one, and I'm not expecting to make any drastic updates to the model anymore. Ah, 3D sketch. Yeah, so I'm applying each 3D sketch separately because I just cannot remember anymore if SolidWorks will be able to interpret the sketches, those edges separately. So that's the reason why I'm doing it. But you can check it out yourself to see if it works or not. Maybe it works faster. I just cannot remember anymore. And I'm already 1 hour and a half of in the middle of the video talking. So yeah, so I'm a bit tired. All right. Yeah, so I want the whole edge. Can you please get the whole edge, or did I miss the whole edge in there? I think no, I didn't miss it. Yeah, it is there. Okay. Most probably it's not taking it because it's not in tangency. But if I'm selecting them separately, select the continuous. Okay. Yeah, so it is recognizing that one, but not this one. And the reason may be, just here. Doesn't seem to be bothered, but for some reason is not recognizing it. Okay, we will have to see. So let's see again. Yeah, only up to there for some reason. Okay, let's do it like that then. So between these and these. Okay, so it did recognize it in there, and yeah, and it is considering it in error. Okay, let's check the surfaces that we have after that are cutting the object. Are they all right? Yeah, they don't look as problematic. Hmm. Okay. Then let's see if I'm going a bit deeper. Let's see if it will the sketch contain our relation to model which no longer exist. Okay. Let's go into it and let's convert it like that, a bit wider, and let's try again. Okay. Now it works, so that's cool. Yeah, sometimes you need to help the software to actually understand how things are going, or maybe that's my impression about it. Anyway, so just going to put them all in curvature to be sure that I'm not missing anything. And I should do the same for this one in here. Actually, I can do it like this. Oh yeah, I can select chain after. Well, that's cool. So yeah, let's select this and get a chain. But still, okay. So I guess the chain works only somewhere like here, maybe. No, okay, never mind. So let's select the edges in here. These ones. And next 3D sketch. And this entity. So convert edges, this one, and this one. All right. And now let's do another boundary surface between these two. Let's flip this, flip the connectors. Great. And let's see. Doesn't want to get that one. Maybe this one. So it does recognize this one in here as an open loop, but then If I'm selecting this, I'm having the same problem as before. So then let's not keep them right at the edge. Okay. So let's go again with it. Yeah. And it should be just fine now. Yeah, still not recognizing it, but at least the one at the bottom. Okay, so the one at the bottom is seen all right. The one at the top, not all right. Oh yeah, and I can see something very weird happening in here. The way that this is done as a transition. Okay, so let's try then instead of that. Yes, of course, because it has to transition from here to there at the back. So let me see how it will go with this with the fill instead. It does transition better with the fill already in contact, so in curvature it should go even better. What do I see here? Is it like an artifact or something? Ah, no, I did say to apply to all edges. Yeah, so it will not apply correctly the boundaries. Okay, okay, so that means we will have to do a boundary surface between these two independently and then join them together in between. So flip connector. Something like that in here and in here, and then we can use this to just join the remaining surfaces, right? Okay, so I will not want this to be applied to all and as well, so that I can adjust the curvature handles on both sides to match them together. Okay, so that's that. And I will do the same in the front. when it will recognize a sketch. Which sketch is this one? Okay, so it's one sketch having both of them, so I'm going to just delete them and leave one sketch with one curve. It may get confused over the sketches. So 3D sketch, convert entities, these two in here. Okay. And we should have a far better behavior now. Yes, we do. So separate sketches with separate curves, it's far, far better than one sketch with all the curves in there. Yeah, and I still don't like the surface in here. So I will do the same as I did at the back. Yep. Curvature, and I will say here in the middle, I want to have control on how these things are. Okay, and now I will not want to apply to all the edges the same curvature value. Something like that. Okay, so now it's done in such a way so that we can adjust it for our needs. Right. So I will just apply a fill in between, because now the fill should be able to be guided by the surfaces that are in between. So using a fill or not, it shouldn't make much difference now. All right, so let's apply the fill and let's get done with it, because we have some cuts to do afterwards. So this, that, and that. Oh, we still have some small stuff in there. Apply to all edges, curvature, and it should be just fine. I will adjust the handles afterwards. So that, and that. We could maybe do some fillets and join them after and do it in a different way, but now since we chose this way of doing the geometry, then we'll just continue with it. Okay, and I can see the transition here is not too bright, so I can always adjust this one in here to make it a bit more smooth. So let's see what's going on in here. Why suddenly they are twisted? Shouldn't have a problem to be twisted, but fine. Okay, so let's do that again. Okay. Yeah, so this sketch in here missed one element in it. Okay, so now it's fine. Okay, so probably I want for this to be closer to that point in there. Yeah, I think this should be all right. Okay. So let's do the next fill. Yeah, that's too bad that it's quite sensitive at the edges. SolidWorks. I understand and I don't understand it because I do work with Katya and Katya is far less sensitive. So I don't see the reason apart from the cost of the software why to have this kind of behavior. But anyway, let's continue. Okay. Yes, of course, another transition in here is not the one that we would like. But I do like the transition that is in there. So then let's try to adjust this surface a bit more. To be more to the liking of the other one, yeah? Yeah, something like this. Not super perfect. So maybe if I'm pushing this one into here, which probably will give me some problems again with the sketches that I had before. Ah, no, it didn't. So I will need to push even more in there. So that I can allow to transition. I can allow the surfaces to transition smoothly. I have a surface filling here that I don't need anymore. Okay. And yeah, I think that's kind of it. It does look more or less as it should. Again, it's all approximate anyway. Okay. And now if I'm going to this model, yeah, I should have, yeah, that is correct. So if I'm opening the model that is containing the top surface, I should be able to see it matching a lot more with the image now. Yeah, I can see some weird things happening in here, which we will need to adjust. So we have quite some weird stuff around those transitions, those surfaces and how they transition. And I want to have them really done properly. So I'm going to do so. Yeah, let's do it. So opening this up. Yeah, and I can see, so it's the constant transition. Constantly is the transition that is problematic. It's quite sharp transition, so SolidWorks doesn't really have enough space to smooth it out. So that's quite normal. I wouldn't say that's unexpected. But then I can see some, yeah, some ways of doing it that wouldn't be quite all right. And again, it wouldn't be that much of a surprise given that I'm having different curvature values in those transitions. So it's a bit tricky to get those surfaces as they should. But again, I can always increase even more the distance. And yeah, increasing it is not going to solve it here at the back, nor at the front. And I can see what's happening. So we have this part in here that is having, let's say, the maximum curvature here, but then is transitioning higher up, which, yeah, of course, I mean, what can you do with that? So you can only make things to be round, but then it goes from one side to another. So you will need to lead it. Yeah. And to lead it, and it can be done. So what you will have to do would be to make boundary surface in this area here. And in this way, you will be able to lead um, those maximum areas of curvature and where they will transition to each other. I think I can say no curvature, yes, but then align with next section and align with next section so that I can guide it like that. So once you guide it like that, then it should make things easier. So let's try and do it for these last two bits. I think I can still see a transition that I don't like in here. Yeah. So let's see what there is to do, what there is to be done. Because this is not going to be acceptable. There is one thing that still we didn't do. We did not increase the distance in here. So we allow a smoother transition and, to not go like that into the other thing. So let's apply now a fill surface. We should be looking far better. Yeah, not too bad. That's good. That's good. So then let's try in here as well. Yeah. So I'm expecting here in this corner would be like the worst because I'm having a round surface in here and the maximum would be here and the maximum is again lower on the other side. So, and you cannot really do much about it because that's how those surfaces are at the end of the day. I mean, you can do them manually after to make them round in a manual way, but still. So we have them like that. Let's try again. Yeah, there you go. So here there are already problems. Okay. But if I am doing this like that, yeah, it's getting closer to what we need. And this corner here is done correctly. So I don't mind that. That's really good. So the only thing that is missing is the transition that I have in here, right? We should be all right now. Ah, no, it's not all right, and we've been here already. Yeah. So let's get this closer to the center. So we increase the distance, and having the distance increased, it should allow a smoother transition, and it should be far better now. I can always try to put it in tangency as edges. Yeah, I can see. So no, that's not going to work like that. Okay. All right, let's do what I was saying earlier. So we connect them in the middle. Which of course will show it like this. So let's see if I am connecting them here and here. Yeah, I can see where the problem lies. This one goes like this and this one goes like that. Okay, well, it shouldn't be a problem then if we just make this one even less. It's not quite as it should be done, but if it gets the results, I don't see why not. And by adjusting it a bit more, so that is maybe less round in there. Well, not perfect, definitely. So I don't like it. And I can understand how this goes like this, but this should be going like that. So then, yeah, let's use this. Hmm. Okay, so it looks like we may need to do this transition manually this time. Okay, so if we do this, then we can do it like that. Not with next section. No, I'm trying to arrive to this one. Section normal. It's not quite what I wanted. All right, well, we are 2 hours, more than 2 hours into our video, and it's clearly this one in here becomes a problem. So yeah, next time when I will create the next video after I'm studying a little bit the situation in here to see what's going on and see what are our options that will work, I can come back and present what it should be done. So yeah, stay tuned, and I hope you are looking at my videos, and please comment and like and subscribe. It will help me a lot, and I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.